Hey guys, this is HIRANG, and I'm a freelance art director and a content creator as well. Welcome to this mission series from the Catholic Creative Conference. I'm so excited to engage in this workshop with you guys. We'll be talking about the power of beauty, healing the soul through art. And so let's get to it. Okay, so one of the fundamental realities of being human is feeling. We're all capable of feeling things. May it be anger, happiness, sadness, disgust, fear, and a lot of other things. We are all emotional beings, whether we admit it or not, whether we realize it or not, or whether we show it or not. No one is exempted from pain, not even me. There's also one other thing that our souls are designed for, and it's constantly striving to just search for beauty. And there's always this holy longing in all of us. It's also evident in the 1975's lyrics, wherein we have this God-shaped hole. You know, like every one of us has this restlessness in our hearts that can only find rest in God. And it is only through finding Him that we find our hearts at peace. Ultimately, beauty should point us towards God. It should be ordered towards Him who is the Creator Himself. And so everything that we do and everything that we create, it should always point towards Him. You know that feeling when you look at something beautiful and your heart kind of just aches, but in a good way? You know, like when you see a certain waterfall, when you listen to a certain song, and you just kind of yearn and pine, and it just kind of makes you feel things. It kind of stirs up something in our hearts. Aesthetic pleasure kind of breaks your heart in the best way, if that makes sense. And looking at something beautiful and appreciating it doesn't really stop there. It kind of makes you long for something more. It constantly makes you search for something deeper, and it draws you into something beyond what you even understand or perceive. God has this way of uniting us in art because He has this way of calling broken people to the way of beauty. God has this way of integrating us with each other and with Him. When we're hurt, we have this tendency of thinking that no one's ever gonna understand us, or no one's ever gonna feel what we're feeling, or no one's ever gonna be able to fathom what we're going through. But the opposite is true. Let's be real. We've all related to at least one hugot song, right? Because that's the thing. Art unites us. And it has a way of kind of communicating the deep yearnings of our hearts and being able to relate to others. You know, like it has this way of being able to connect on some deeper level what other people may be feeling. And I think that's really beautiful. In the beginning, God created the world and He saw that it was good. And so when we create art, we imitate the divine and the ultimate creator. When we express ourselves creatively, may it be through dance, singing, graphic design, and all these things, we imitate the divine creator Himself, and we share in His divinity. When we share in His divine spark, it slowly brings us healing. And as media missionaries, or as artists, we are called and we are invited to share in this divinity, in this divine spark that God has. Our posture has to be open to His divine inspiration, because God has this way of steering something in our hearts, and oftentimes it's something that we can't really explain very well, but we just know that we have this drive in ourselves that we need to be able to create something profound, something meaningful, you know, like not just be able to create for the sake of creating, but to create and to somehow bring more meaning and value into the world. You know, it's something that is innate in us, and in one way or another, in whether it's big or small, we have this really natural tendency of just creating, because That's God Himself communicating Himself, His love in us. And not only should we create in order to heal ourselves, but also to bring healing to other people as well. You know, because that's the point of heartbreak songs. That's the point of all these paintings, all these, you know, masterpieces that artists have made all throughout history. It's to be able to connect somehow to other people. And in one way or another, experiencing other people's art brings us towards this deeper connection towards ourselves, others, and of course, also the Lord. The art that we create should be a foretaste of heaven. And so God calls us to share His beauty to the world through our artistic vocation. No matter our medium, graphic design, you know, singing, and all these things, God can use our talents for the greater good. I guess to conclude, I would like to share this little piece of my heart to you guys. I wrote this piece during a period in my life where I was really experiencing deep emotional turmoil. I felt extreme pain in my heart. I felt like I was helpless. I was in this state where I just wanted to grab the closest thing that would bring me warmth, would bring me comfort. And so that was poetry for me. It kind of was the avenue in which I found consolation. It was kind of the place where I just wanted to express. It somehow was therapeutic for me. I just hope that this poem somehow can bring healing as well to you guys, to you who may be experiencing or who may have experienced deep sorrow in your heart. And I hope that this poem somehow speaks to you in a certain way and that it brings healing, you know, in a way to you as well. This poem is called Easter. Lonesome in my distress was I, thinking it was only I who died. Yet it was you who was first doubted. Before me, it was you who was denied. It was you who was first rebuked, and it was you who was crucified. I called on you, you who bore it first, you who understood, and whenever I yearned, hoping you'd come, every time you would. You showed me that the weight was ours, though yours was way ahead of mine. It dawned on me that I shared in your suffering, but the yoke is easy and the burden light. You hold me close and raise me up. Together we shall come alive. Together we endured, and heavenward we cried. But together, like Easter, we rise. That's it. Thank you for being part of this workshop. Remember that you are made good and that you are made for good works. I hope you guys picked up a thing or two, and I pray that you may use your God-given passions to fulfill the mission that He has entrusted you. Make sure to watch the other mission series workshops as well. Thanks and God bless.